This is your daytime update on Newzroom Afrika, channel 405, and we continue to bring you informative features on the upcoming local government elections on the 1st of November. The municipality of Midvaal in Gauteng has been ranked first in clean audits and satisfactory service delivery for years running. It has consistently outperformed most of the municipalities in the province and indeed municipalities around the country. Joining us now to explain how the municipality achieved all of these accolades under his leadership is the outgoing Midvaal Mayor, Bongani Baloyi. Mayor Baloyi, a very good afternoon to you. And how does it feel as you are bowing out of what really has been an illustrious career as Mayor of the Midvaal?
Well, thank you so much for having me on the show. I think you can start calling me Mr. Baloyi so you can help me get used to the fact that I'm leaving office quite shortly. I think for me it's been an incredible journey which I've been afforded by my political party and community to be able to be of service to them. And I leave at the top of my game, knowing very well that I've done the best that I can within the limitation of time, the knowledge that I had and the warm bodies that I had to assist me to make the best decisions. So I leave without reservations. I leave proud of what we have done, and I leave taking full responsibility and accountability for where we may have erred, failed, but we certainly did so in the interest of our community. So I leave with, as someone says, with clean hands before. So I really leave with no reservations, no ill feelings towards anyone, because I leave at a stage when I have decided to leave. And as I leave, I'm opening the door myself.
Let's talk about what you would highlight as the bedrocks of your success. What does it take to run a successful municipality?
I think it's the following combination of factors. One is ethical leadership. Number two is a competent professional civil service. Number three is improving the state of governance in any institution. And by doing so, you ultimately ensure that what you claim to be the predetermined objectives when you start your financial year, you are able to attain or pursue the attainment of them, and you are able to keep repeating that. But equally, we do regular performance evaluation and management. That we're keeping the pulse on the heart of the institution, by also inculcating a culture of accountability and transparency, by also equally ensuring that when people have erred, there's swift and just consequence management. I think those factors enable, and a functional council really, that really helps to be able to provide oversight over the executive. And I think that one of the ones that I cannot forget is a community which really insists on accountability from the executive. One that has been, I think, for our journey, my community has been with me throughout, asking difficult questions, which keep reminding you of why you're in the office, really. And I think the Midvaal community broadly, I think I must really thank them for the opportunity and working with me in the manner that they did and trusting me. And that's what has ensured that we sustain active citizenry, which is sustaining the type of performance that we have delivered to our community.
Some of the key aspects that seem to be a challenge for many municipalities that community members are complaining about are the lack of electricity, or overpriced electricity, and a lack of clean drinking water. How have you managed to focus on these in your municipality?
Look, the affordability of electricity is something that worries all of us, that puts a strain in the electricity trading service. But remember that we just passed the tariff that Eskom has given to us straight to the consumer without adding much to it. So then there's the water issue. We are growing, in fact, the water issue and the electricity issues coupled together because we're a growing municipality. I mean, I think one of the fastest growing municipalities in Gauteng. So you can just imagine the strain as we are growing, the population is growing, there's the strain on the trading services of water and electricity. What does that mean? It means then, as a municipality, we must invest more in our retail, not retail, but in our reservoirs. So we must build more reservoirs, which is bulk. We must build more substation, which is bulk, to be able to cater for the demanded growth. And unfortunately, at times, these things take about 2 to 3 years. So at the point people complaining and saying nothing is happening, but these monumental structures or infrastructure is being built, and they don't really see the connection between the building and successful completion of these to the delivery of water to them. Because, I mean, in Israel, as an example, before we were able to provide standpipes in where we've relocated about 200 families, we had to build a reservoir, which took about 3 years. It's only now that we're reticulating and putting in the water in every stand. So there's a time lag before that. And that time creates the frustration, you know, when people are saying, but there's no service delivery. But where people, they have water, they have electricity, and they've got tar road as well. So to an extent, people think service delivery is only issues of human settlement, which is not a direct competence of local government. So sometimes you do find those challenges that arise. But from a trading services point of view, we try and pass a tariff to the end user, which is reflected from the bulk consumer, from the bulk creditor. In this case, it's Eskom, which relates to electricity. And with water, it's Rand Water. But we must also be able to maintain that infrastructure and ensure a reliable delivery of electricity and water. And the maintenance part, we need to charge for it. We can't do anything after. So if we're to just zero rated, then it means over a period of time, our ability to deliver that service will significantly diminish, because the revenue from there will diminish and our ability to service that will also diminish.
You spoke earlier on about the importance of civil activism and communities holding leadership, and specifically municipal leaders, to account. How have you put that infrastructure in place in your particular municipality, the type of interaction and the means that community members are actually able to do that?
I think, firstly, my community was inspired by what's happening in Mfuleni. So they decided they don't want it to get there, so they must definitely take an active interest into the running of their local municipality by ensuring that they don't allow it to get to a state of deterioration. In fact, them doing that has also sharpened and refined the delivery mechanism, and has brought the municipality closer to the residents and setting the leadership closer to the residents, because we get first-hand information about the impact or the length of service delivery or lack of service delivery. So unfortunately, there's also a number of various interest groups in our municipality, ratepayers, your SANCOs, who do a lot of work of civil mobilizing in their community for their vested interests, which we as a municipality must balance against different vested interests to be able to demonstrate to everybody that we are listening to them and we are trying to utilize the minimal resources to be able to improve the livelihoods and the lives of people in their material community, in the material environments.
We're seeing Komani at the moment under the spotlight with the stadium. Well, it cost 15 million rand to put that together, allegedly. How do you avoid situations like that?
Look, I think from the onset, these things can be avoided by ensuring that, one, you follow a transparent and open process to appoint a service provider who must deliver that. And you must clearly define what you want to be delivered. Because if I look at that and I judge against what to deliver with 15 million rands in Midvaal, it's chalk and cheese, really. You should have gotten a beautiful piece of infrastructure there. So then there comes a part of monitoring in terms of the deliverables of the infrastructure. Now you ask yourself, who are signing off the payment certificates and confirming that the work in terms of the quantities has happened. So you must still verify who has done it, because there's a lot of, in the value chain from the appointment right down to the delivery, there's lots of loopholes in the entire process. And on our side, we will ensure that we improve the gaps and mitigate against the risk, because for every rand that we pay for something, we must have delivery and certainty that there'll be quality of delivery on the ground. And I've put mechanisms in place to be able to ensure, and when we're also able to hold people accountable who have signed for things and what has happened on the ground are two different things. On our case, it does not happen. I mean, it happened only once in our term, and the fellow decided to resign because it started a disciplinary process. So there has to be clear and decisive consequence management. But these things often happen in an environment which is riddled with weak governance and leadership, which has actually been captured.
You started as a mayor at the age of 26. Talk to us about youth leadership. What was it about that age, do you believe, or being a young person in leadership, that perhaps positioned you for success? Did that have anything to do with it?
it had something to do with it. But I think at the same time, as a young person or any person as a leader, you need to have a deep appreciation of the journey that you're walking and equally be able to respond to why, the reasons of why you are in it. If it's for selfish reasons, it is not which appeal to the direction that you're going towards and make sense with your core and your center, then I don't think you'll be very successful, because if those reasons are linked to your core and your reason for existence, as I generally believe that my reasons are, then it enables you to be able to stay your cause and to work hard and be able to cross the barriers that you may have, barriers such as institutional knowledge and capacity and various others as well, to be able to work hard and focus and prove as a young person that you're not just and as I believe that I've demonstrated that I'm not just a young leader, I'm a leader, period. I've gone beyond the limitation of age because I've done things that people, even who are 4 times my age, have not been able to do in the time frame that I've been able to do. So I think as young leaders, we must also not shy away from leading and to demonstrate that we are beyond just being a young leader, but we are leaders, period. So I think that has given, in fact, it did add a bit of weight and pressure, because you understand the significance of failure, that it's not just to you, but it's also to a generation, to young people broadly, because now there's a thing that says, you see young leaders, you can't trust them, look at what that man did, and you have to prove that it's not the case as well, that you can be committed towards the betterment of the future of our country by actively and dedicating ourselves towards working as civil or as public servants, and ensuring that you avoid all of the trappings and keep reminding yourself of why you are in it.
Before we let you go, Mayor,
advancements also that.
Before we let you go,
Yes.
I'd like to get your comments on the situation that the DA is facing right now, those posters in Phoenix that we believe are starting to be pulled down now. Your views on what happened there, what is the message that the DA was trying to send?
Well, I myself am unsure of what and what the plan was. I think it was a mistake, and I think that we should pull those things down and apologize to the country, because the type of language and that you use in that situation and the type of actions that you put in as a political party, we must be very careful on the back of what has happened, and we must not be seen as trying to further polarize a community. So our actions, I think, in this case were irresponsible. And I think I support the party leadership in saying we must take those posters down and apologize to the community. I think it was ill-advised.
Mr. Baloyi, thank you very much for your time as we wrap up today. We certainly, I'm sure, will be speaking to you again before the end of your term. November the 1st are the local government elections.